Good morning. So I'm gonna do really quick today. I want to talk about heading into Tech Week. For those of you that don't know what Tech Week is, um, actually, this isn't Tech Week. This is my Q writing week. Uh, so if you are a theater parent or a theater person, I say theater parent because that's I don't think I don't think my students are on Facebook. But if you are involved in theater, you understand Tech Week. Um, it's when all of the technical elements come together. So the actors have had 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, to rehearse. So they've got all the blocking down. That's telling everybody where to go, and they've learned the music and the choreography, and they are they have everything but lights, scenery, costumes. Hopefully they've had props at this point, or at least doofers for the props. Doofers being, the stand-ins for the props that they're going to use. They get used to having something in their hand, carrying something around, passing things off, whatever it is that they have to do with the prop. Um, Tech Week is when all of that should come together, and it should mean that the actors are the acting that those particular details at this point should be pretty well under control. And of course, the actors are going to work on them until they never stop working on them. So, but all that should be figured out because now the crew comes in and they are learning their jobs for the show. So they are figuring out the timing for set changes and when the cues have to happen. And, we add costumes, so costume changes will happen, adding in live music if there are live musicians. Sound effects will be something other than just the stage manager going phone rings. So those things now have to get worked in, and it is as important for the show because if your tech is off, it pulls your audience out of the show immediately, unless that is the intention of your moment. But that's different. That's different. Whatever the intention of your storytelling is, the tech has to support that. Um, it can be as time consuming, but they've got a week to do it instead of 4 to 6 weeks. So uh, they come in. Sometimes the crew outnumbers the cast. We've done shows that way. We had a show. It's been a while since we've done that, but we had a show many years ago that I think it was um, 18 or 20 in the cast and 22, 23 on the crew, all told. Um, and that's between, board ops, follow spot operators, deck crew, costumes, props, the whole deal. Um, the show I'm thinking of in particular had a very large crew. Uh, we typically run with about our main stage shows have usually 14 kids on the crew. That is an average crew size, and the studio shows average 5. Um, Sometimes you can do the studio shows with as few as 3. Um, so this week I'll be writing light cues. Lighting takes a long time. More so now that we have LED lights because instead of it's just the light is on or the light is off or at what level the light is and all the work has been done on the front side in positioning the lights and making sure they're correct, and have colors dropped in them. Now it's you have the choice of color. You have moving light. We have moving lights. There are moving lights involved, and you can guess. I mean, I wrote a few presets, so um, based on where I know things are on stage, but now you have to put all of that together. So writing light cues prior to our having LEDs and moving lights was an 8 to 12 hour process for a 3 hour show, typically. Uh, Now it is a 16-hour process, 16 to 24 hours, depending on the complexity of the show, how many moving lights and how many LEDs we have, and who I'm writing light cues with. Um, so this week we'll be sitting down and watching the show and writing the light cues. Um, and I will also be bouncing back and forth between the other rehearsals because they get the stage. The Nonsense gets the stage 3 days before they open, so I have to have all of their stuff done as well, because they won't get tech time. It's not. It's not going to be a thing. So we'll have to hit the ground running for that group. Uh, so that is the process. So this week our follow spot operators, well, next week our follow spot operators, our sound and our lighting kids will join us, and then they will have 5 days prior. I don't think they get quite 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They get 5 days. They'll get 5 days to learn what they need to learn for the show, um, and we'll make all that happen, and then the show will open. And I've listened to a little bit of the rehearsals. They're sounding great. It's going to be fun. Um, we just have to get it there. So that's what's going on today in our universe. If you yeah, this is also where we jump up the time frame. So tech rehearsals typically run for us 3:30 to 9:30. So we're at school, and then they get about a half-hour break, 3 to 3:30, and then we start at 3:30, and we run till 9:30, and that lasts until the show opens. So um, that's how we do it. Not everybody does it that way. Uh, when I worked professionally, and different professional theaters do this differently as well. When I worked for children's theater. We had a 12-hour tech. Then we got a day on stage as technicians to fix things, and then the next day we had a 12-hour tech, and then we opened. So that was always fun. That was always fun. Um, they call those 10 out of 12s. The actors got 10, so they would do 5 hours, take a break for 2 hours, go have lunch, come back and do another 5. We didn't. We just kept going. We took like a half an hour lunch, and then we just kept rolling. So, but then when I worked for a different, it was not a children's theater, it was a different theater. They had a much more. They had a tech week. They had a full week of rehearsals with the technical staff, and usually that started at noon and went until 8 or 9. Sometimes it depended. Sometimes it depended on the show because it depended on the complexity of the show. But anyway, so everybody does it a little bit differently. Hopefully, when you plan your calendar, you schedule it out so you have more time than you need, and that is always very misleading because you can plan it out so that you've got 10 days. I'd like to have 10 days is what I'd like to put in the calendar. It never works out that way. Because we as humans will always expand to the time that we have, even if we know we don't really have it. So things always get pushed. And then there's weather, snow days, because this year we had COVID days, so we were shut down for periodically throughout the year for COVID, so that pushed things. So stuff happens. You just got to roll with it. All right. Well, I hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.